Good morning, ma'am.
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 Good morning. Okay. So yesterday we have watched some of the videos, right? And I have given some of the video clips to watch later on. So have you guys watched those videos? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Why? Why? Why don't you watch that? Come on, answer me fast.
મેમ કાલે ટાઈમ નહીં બચ્યો તો.
એવો કેવો ટાઈમ નતો બચ્યો? 4 વાગ્યા પછી શું કર્યું તમ લોકોએ?
મેમ મીટિંગ હતી ઇન્ટર્નશિપ ની એટલે.
ચલો મીટિંગ હતી. મીટિંગ 4 થી 5 ચાલી. પછી 5 વાગે શું કર્યું?
ના મેમ 5:30 લાગી ચાલી મેમ. પછી તો મેમ સુઈ જાવ ને થોડી વાર. કંટાળો આવે સવારનો લઈને બેઠો હતો લેપટોપ.
હા ચલો તમે 5:30 ફ્રી થયા, તમે 1.5 કલાક સુઈ ગયા, 7 વાગ્યા. હવે શું કર્યું?
પછી મેમ મેં લેપટોપ પડ્યો જ નથી એટલે ભૂલાઈ ગયો.
આવું ના ચાલે યાર. તમારા પર ભરોસો રાખીને મેં તમને વિડિયો લિંક્સ આપી હોય કે આજે આપણે એ વસ્તુ પતાઈ દઈશું. આખું પ્લાનિંગ મારા દિમાગમાં ફરતું હોય અને તમે મારા પ્લાનિંગ ને સાવ એ કરી નાખો. મારે શું કરવાનું હવે બોલો? ચલો રાહુલ એકે એક્સપ્લેનેશન આપ્યું. વોટ અબાઉટ અધર્સ? Is Rahul is the only one who is responsible for your watching video, or you are responsible for your own? Others? Come on, answer me. At least Rahul is having.
मैडम हॉस्पिटल गयो तो.
Okay, hospital गया था. કેમ હોસ્પિટલ ગયા હતા?
દાદાને એડમિટ કર્યા છે.
ઓહો, શું થયું?
નોઝિયા અને લીવર ઇન્ફેક્શન.
બરાબર છે. ઓકે ઓકે, દ્રષ્ટિ વેલ નથી. ચલો 3 જણના રીઝન ખબર પડી મને. I can see there is, I guess, 29 students. So there should be 29 different reasons for not watching the videos.
Ma'am, function માં જવાનું થયું હતું.
ઓકે, ફંક્શન માં જવાનું. અત્યારે કોના લગન આવી ગયા ભાઈ?
ના, બર્થડે હતી.
ઓકે
અને આઉટ ઓફ સિટી હતી એટલે પછી રાતના 11-12 વાગે ગયા હતા.
ઓકે, બરાબર છે. પછી નેક્સ્ટ.
મેમ તમે કીધું હતું ને કે એના ડિસ્કશન નેક્સ્ટ ટુ નેક્સ્ટ વીક કરીશું એટલે
પછી એવું વિચાર કે આજે નેક્સ્ટ વીક છે ને, છોડો ને યાર, હવે નહીં જોવા એમ. હા,
યસ મેમ.
એ નેક્સ્ટ ટુ નેક્સ્ટ તો પેલા CSE 1 વાળા માટે હતું. આજે તો આપણી લેબ આવવાની હતી.
મેમ અમાર લાગ્યો અમાર માટે પણ સેમ જ હશે.
ના ના, આવું તમે લોકો જાતે જાતે બહુ વિચારી લો છો. ના ચાલે આવું.
મેમ હજી પ્રેઝન્ટેશન બાકી નથી.
હા બાકી છે ને, પણ મને એમ કે તમે વિડિયોઝ જોઈ લીધા હોય તો મને ડિસ્કસ કરતા ખાલી 15 to 20 મિનિટ્સ લાગે. તો 15-20 મિનિટ્સમાં આપણે આપણા 3 પ્રેક્ટિકલ પતાવી દઈએ અને આફ્ટર ધેટ આઈ કેન સ્ટાર્ટ વિથ ધી પ્રેઝન્ટેશન્સ. બીકોઝ હવે આપણી લેબ જે છે હાર્ડલી 3 to 4 ટાઈમ્સ જ આવશે, વધારે નહીં આવે. And in that I need to take your internal practical exam as well as I need to take the another online course presentation. So in that I required other 3 weeks for the presentations. So 4 week તો મારા એની અંદર જતા રહેશે. તો આપણી જોડે 5 પ્રેક્ટિકલ બાકી છે. કમ્પ્લીટ ક્યારે કરવાના આપણે? So you need to buck up now, right? Whatever the task I'm assigning to you, you need to just do that. અને videos કેટલા મોટા કેટલા એ નથી કે time જાય, right? Okay, so what we are going to do is those whose presentation is remaining, I'm going to take their presentations. And those who have not watched that video clips, I'm providing you that particular video clips again. You are requested to watch those video clips, okay? And then we will discuss regarding those videos at 11:30, okay? So you have 1 hour to watch these videos. Fair enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So જે લોકોના presentation પતી ગયા છે, if they want to leave this meeting, they can leave and they can watch these videos. And you are requested to join this particular meeting at sharp 11:30. 11:30 હું explanations ને વગેરે ચાલુ કરી દઈશ. પછી તમે join નહીં થયા હો તો પણ હું કંઈ consider નહીં કરું. તો એવું હોય તો 11:20 જ join કરવાનું ચાલુ કરી દેજો. Right?
Ma'am.
Yes.
મેમ હું લીવ થઈ જાઉં મેમ, એકચ્યુઅલી મારા નથી સારી તબિયત તો.
તમારા presentation બાકી છે?
હા મેમ.
તો તમે ખાલી presentation પહેલા આપી દો, એના પછી તમે લીવ થઈ જજો.
ઓકે હા મેમ.
presentation અપાશે ને?
હા હા આપી દઈશ.
ઓકે, તો હું તમને પ્રેઝન્ટર બનાવી દઉં છું. સૌથી પહેલા તમે આપી દો. Please present your screen.
Yes ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay ma'am, thank you. So hello ma'am, my name is Rashti Thakkar and my topic was simple mail transfer protocol. So in simple mail transfer protocol, there are 2 sides. There are SMTP client and SMTP server. SMTP stands for simple mail transfer protocol. It is basically SMTP is some set of rules, or you can say guidelines, that actually allows the transfer of mail from client through a software and through simple mail transfer protocol. Sorry ma'am, 1 second. Sorry ma'am. It is a program for sending messages to other computers based on their email addresses. So basically, through internet, we can transfer electronic mail, and this is called simple mail transfer protocol. The mail exchange between the two different users, two different computers, which can be anything. You can send text, image, voice, video, graphics, documents, etc.
Okay. So Drashti, please tell me what is the port number of SMTP?
Port number, ma'am. अरे यार.
Okay. At which particular layer this SMTP works?
Layer, ma'am, it works on application layer.
Okay. And if I want to send the videos, graphics, and other documents, so SMTP is enough protocol, or I need to add on any another protocol?
Ma'am, POP is for receiving. POP protocol is used for receiving, and for sending SMTP is used.
I want to send SMTP sends the only text messages or text mail, or it we can attach the documents or graphics or image file or voice or video file.
I think, ma'am, it can send.
Okay, fine. You can leave. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next, Irfan.
મેમ
Yes.
મેમ લાસ્ટ ટાઈમ 135 રોલ નંબરનો બાકી હતો પ્રેઝન્ટેશન.
હા, તો જ્યાંથી અટક્યું છે હું ત્યાંથી અત્યારે ચાલુ કરું છું. આફ્ટર ધેટ જેટલા લોકો એ દિવસે રજા પર હતા કે તે હતું એ લોકોનું પછીથી છેલ્લે એટ ધી એન્ડ લેવામાં આવશે.
ઓકે.
Yes, Irfan.
Yes, ma'am. Just a second.
Okay.
Is my screen visible?
Not here. Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So, good morning to one and all. I will be presenting the network security topic in this presentation. I am Irfan Ukani, and I did this Cisco Netcad Academy course. So today we will be looking at the introduction to network security. What are the possible threats for our data? What is malware? And how can we improve our network security? And we will summarize that all the things at the end. So let's, without wasting any time, let's just go to the introduction. So first of all, what is network security and why it's important? So when we leave our home for some reason, for some work, we always check for the doors that if the door is locked or not. So do we really check that if, is our data is secure or not in our network? Data is a very valuable information in nowadays in the digital era of this century. So we have to protect our data by anyhow, because by using your data, the attacker can create a false identity based on your data and can do the malicious operation, and after that all the data or the services that your network provides will be disrupted. So unauthorized person can result in a costly network outage and loss of the work. So to avoid these scenarios, to avoid the denial of services, we have to make sure that our data is completely secure in our side.
Irfan?
So, yeah, yes.
Okay, what do you mean by unauthorized person?
Unauthorized person means that the person who is not able, the person who's what I can say, he or she is not able, he or she should not be able to use the data, but they are trying to use it.
Okay, what is threat?
Threat is the possible security problems that can arise in our network.
Who can arise that problem?
By sending the viruses, malware, spyware, DOS attack, DDoS attacks.
What is malware?
Malware is I have a particular slide for that. So malware is the type of attack in which these attacks will be based on viruses, worms, or Trojan horses. It can damage or destroy the data, or it can deny the access to network.
What is the difference between virus and Trojan horse?
Virus is a type of software program which needs the permission of user, and it mostly transfers through the emails and downloadable files. When the user triggers that function, the virus will manipulate the data files in our computer. But the Trojan horse looks like the legitimate software. Like, we think it's a perfect software for our application, and basically it's a virus after running that. After running that.
What is the DOS attack?
DOS attack is a denial of service in which the server is flooded with false IP addresses. So the server will be having a very large queue of requests to give the data, and the server will not be able to give all the responses. So it will cause the denial of network.
You can leave.
Okay, thank you.
Those who are completing their presentation can leave this meeting and start watching the videos. Okay, next.
Yes, ma'am. Sharing the screen.
Those who are in a waiting zone, they are requested to be ready with your PPT and all other stuffs. Okay.
Ma'am,
So-
can you see my screen?
No.
Ma'am, now can you see my screen?
No.
Still not. Okay, now
Yes, now I can see.
I kind of have to join through phone because my laptop's microphone is not working. So ma'am, hello everyone. So my topic is I'm Poojan, and my topic today is IPv4 IPv6 address management, and I have done the course from Cisco Network Academy. And now these are the few points that I will be discussing: introduction and issues of IPv4, and introduction and features of IPv6. So now IPv4, it consists of basically 32-bit address, and it consists of 4 octets each of 8-bit, and it is also known as class full address, where the range of address is divided into individual classes, where each classes are being configured for specific purposes. Like here, class A is from range 0 to 127, class B is 128, 190, and so on. And each class has different structure. Like in class A, the structure is like first octet would be of network address, and the other 3 would be of host address. And the class B, first 2 octets would be of network address, and other 2 would be of host address, and so on. And here the class D is multicast, that if we want to broadcast the message, then we can do it through the means of class D. And class E is used for experimental purpose of the addresses. So I have taken here one example that here I have described on the right side of the screen, that 192.168.1.152, where it is the host IP address. Then if you want to, as it is under the range of 192.1.223, thus we have considered it as class C. And as the class C, we can see that default mask is 255.255.255.0. So default mask is used basically to find the network address of the host IP address. Like if we will do the host IP address and default mask and binary operation, then we would get the network address that is 192.168.1.0. And if we would keep the host address as 192.168.255, then we would find out the broadcast address, that is 192.168.1.255. This was the basic idea of IPv4 address. Then IPv4 issues that why we have discontinued the IPv4. We are discontinuing the IPv4, not completely, but as it has reached a certain limit, because IPv4 is, as we have seen, that it is a 32-bit address and it only consists of 4.3 billion addresses. So of course there are more number of devices than 4.3 billion. So they are particularly declining, as we can see that these 5 address providers, when they have completed their exhaustion, when they have completed their IP addresses, like exhausted all the IP addresses they were containing. And the other reason was weak protocol extensibility, that it is not having the capability to accommodate more number of parameters for additional requirement, and also lack of quality support, that it is kind of having a bandwidth delay required for smooth operation for some network, as this was first introduced for military purpose and then adapted for public education. So there are some limitation for IP address, so which was solved by issuing IPv6. So here IPv6 is designed to be the successor of IPv4, and it is 128-bit addressing, hence providing 340 undecillion possible addresses. That we can see that how large the number is. We can see that below the slide that it is very huge amount. Like we can allot number of addresses to number of devices. And IETF, that is Internet Engineering Task Force, has used this opportunity to upgrade the IPv6 from IPv4 and also decline the limitations of IPv4 that were being introduced in IPv4. So one of these. Yes, ma'am.
Poojan, so what is the difference between classful and classless IP addressing?
Yes, ma'am. In classful, the IP address is divided into class. Like we have seen the IPv4, that each address is divided in classes. Like, and the classless, the IP address are not divided into class. Like your IPv6.
So how in IPv6 we will be able to come to know that this is the network ID and this is the host ID?
Yes, ma'am. In IPv6, first 4 are network IDs and the other 4 are host IDs. Right? First 4 hex states are network ID, and the last 4 hex states are host ID. I have seen.
Okay.
And also, ma'am, we have as IPv6 is a big address, so it is not possible to display it everywhere. So we have make rules for compressing it into short addresses. Like rule number 1, removing the leading zeros. So here we have removed all the leading zeros, so we can get a short address as compared to the first one. And the other rule is to remove all the continuous zeros, which is 2 or more, by double column. So here we can see that how the whole address at the right side is compressed into just 2001 column, DB8 double column, and 500. Like compressing a whole big address into small one.
Okay, done. You can leave.
Okay, thank you.
Next.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. I am Jinesh. Today I am going to deliver a presentation on topic dynamic routing. I have completed demystifying networking course, which was a 4-week on NPTEL platform. Subtopics which are going to be covered in presentation are introduction to dynamic routing, its advantages and disadvantages, types of protocol used for it, and a diagram. Okay. Now, first of all, question arises: what is dynamic routing? Dynamic routing is a networking technique which finds the base path automatically by using routing protocol without any human intervention. Unlike static routing, dynamic routing enables router to select base path according to the real-time logical network layout changes. Now, internet is a very big term, and it is internally divided into autonomous system. Here, autonomous system refers to a collection of different networks, comes under particular network administrator. The communication or routing within within the autonomous system is done with the help of interior gateway protocol. Here, routing algorithm works within the system, so it is called intra-domain. Intra-domain works on distance vector routing protocol, link state routing protocol, or on both. Routing information protocol and interior gateway routing protocol IGRP are distance vector routing protocols, whereas open shortest path first OSPF and intermediate system ISIS are in link state routing protocol, while enhanced interior gateway routing protocol EIGRP is a combination of distance vector and link state routing protocol. For communication or routing between different autonomous system, border gateway protocol, that is BGP, which uses path vector protocol. As this routing algorithm works between a different system or domain, it is called inter-domain routing.
Okay. So tell me, as RIP and IGRP both utilize the distance vector, then what is the difference between those two protocols, or you can say the algorithms?
Okay, in IGRP, the update is sent at the interval of 90 seconds, while RIP send update at the interval of 30 seconds.
So which one is better?
According to me, RIP is better, and there is also an enhanced version of RIP, that is RIP version 1, then RIP version 2, and then RIP version NJ. While RIP uses the class full addressing, and RIP version 2 and RIP NG uses classless addressing.
Then what is the difference between distance vector and the link state?
Okay, distance vector routing or is the Dijkstra's algorithm. Another difference is okay, in RIP OS in link state routing, it is faster than and most used than the RIP work than distance vector.
Does link state utilize the distance vector algorithm for finding the shortest path?
No, it doesn't use the distance vector. It uses the Dijkstra's algorithm. Distance vector is a Bellman-4 algorithm, so it doesn't use the distance vector.
Okay, so what is the extended version of the interior gateway routing protocol?
Enhanced interior gateway routing protocol, which is based on both that is distance vector and link state.
So how it is better than the OSPF and RIP and IGRP, or it is not better?
Okay, according to me, the OSPF is more popular. So the most popular is the OSPF, and it is better than other routing protocols.
Can we utilize this all the protocols, that is RIP, OSPF, EIGRP, then whatever the link state algorithms we are having, all those protocols can be used in a backbone network?
Okay, backbone network means yeah, we can use in the RIP version. RIP has a max hop length of 15 hops, so we can't use as a in larger networks, while we can use OSPF in larger network.
Okay, done. You can leave.
Okay.
Next.
हेलो मैम.
Yes.
मैम अभी मेरे एरिया में पावर कट है, तो मैं फोन से प्रेजेंट कर सकता हूँ क्या?
हाँ, कर सकते हैं.
Is it visible? Hello, ma'am.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, my name is Yash, and my presentation topic is application layer. The content of this PPT is application layer and its protocol like HTTP, DNS, and SMTP. Application. What is application layer? The application layer is a topmost layer in OSI and TCP IP layer model. This layer is for applications which are involved in communication system. A user may or may not directly interact with the application. Application layer is where the actual communication is initiated and reflects. Application layer protocol as follows. First is HTTP. It's Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Second is DNS, Domain Name System, and third is SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. HTTP. Hypertext Transfer Protocol is used to transfer files and that make up the web pages for the World Wide Web. HTTP uses port number 18. HTTP used across the World Wide Web for the data transfer and one of the most used application protocols. And the three common message types are GET, POST, and PUT. Second is DNS.
Kindly give me the difference between the methods.
GET method उसमें हम सर्वर को रिक्वेस्ट भेजते हैं कि हमको डेटा चाहिए और पोस्ट में हम सभी डेटा को सर्वर में मींस क्या उसको सब रैप्ट करके उसमें सर्वर को भेजते हैं और पुट से हम कोई भी डेटा को मींस के अपडेट कर सकते हैं.
Is there any other methods?
Delete. Sorry, delete.
Okay. Then anything else?
No idea.
What about the head method?
What?
Head.
Head method? Sorry.
Okay. What is the port number of SMTP?
SMTP 25.
And DNS?
80. Sorry, 18. 1110.
Are you sure?
110.
You sure 110?
पता नहीं मैम.
Okay, you can leave. Next.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, is my screen visible? So, good morning, one and all. Myself, Chintan Vekaria, and I have pursued my networking course from the Cisco.net Academy, and I am here to present on the dynamic addressing using the DHCP. So, these are the basic contents of today's presentation: the introduction and static versus dynamic addressing, basically from overview or some objectives for the dynamic addressing and about the DHCP server and working of the DHCP server. So carrying out the introduction. So as in a network, for a network, each host requires an individual unique IP address in that network so that it can be identified easily and the transmission of data between them can be done properly. So this IP addressing can be done in two ways, like static addressing and dynamic addressing. So static addressing is basically a handy task for the administrator because it needs to assign the unique IP for every host manually. So as an advantage to this one, the dynamic addressing was being introduced, and this is being carried out using the DHCP server, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. This protocol basically assigns an IP to each host that requests the IP from its IP pool for a specific amount of time, that is the lease time. So the basic objective for the DHCP was yes, ma'am.
What is IP pool?
IP pool is basically, ma'am, where all the IPs are being stored. Okay. It's an element of the DHCP.
Okay. So can I assign the same IP to two different systems?
Ma'am, actually, yeah, for the IP is being temporarily assigned for a lease amount of time. After that time, the PC can request for the extension of the time, or the IP will be fetched back. Later on, that IP can be assigned to the another host.
So DHCP directly will come to know that this new system has been entered into the network, or the particular system need to approach to DHCP server.
Ma'am, actually the system needs to approach to the DHCP server using the DHCP discover request, and then the DHCP assigns the IP using the DHCP offer request. Offer request.
Okay, then you can leave.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Next. Snehvora.
Wait a second, ma'am. Ma'am, it keeps on loading.
Just a second, wait. Now try to present.
Ma'am, I have to quit and reopen because security and privacy માં છે ને પેલું હતું બ્લોકમાં હતું.
ઓકે, વાંધો નહીં, તો તમે લીવ થઈ જાઓ, ત્યાં સુધી હું બીજાનું લઈ લઉં છું, એનું પતે એટલે પછી તમે આપી દેજો.
ઓકે, હા.
યસ સાક્ષી.
Yes. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I am Sakshi, and I have been learning from the Cisco Net Academy computer networking essential course, and here I am presenting the application layer and its services. So agenda for today's topic is the introduction to the application layer, then the application layer services, domain name server, and web clients and servers. So introduction to the application layer. So we all know that application layer is the topmost layer in the OSI model, and it is the nearest layer to the users. So the end user can directly interact with the software application, and application layer is an abstract layer that specifies the shared communication protocols and interface methods used by hosts in communication network. So basically, it is the layer where the actual communication is initiated, and it uses the services of transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer to transfer the data to the remote host. Then I'll be telling about the application layer services. So the first is domain name system. So we all know that it is impossible to.
Sakshi?
Yes.
So tell me the reason why we required DNS.
Yes, ma'am. So it is like impossible to remember the IP address of all the services and like all the server hosting services on the internet. So it would be easier to if we associate a domain name with the particular IP address, and it would be much easier to search on the search engine using that domain name. So it is useful.
Okay, so why HTTP protocol always utilize the client server architecture?
Client server, because when client will request the service from the server, and the server will respond to that particular request. So it is using that client server architecture.
Okay, give me the services which work at the application layer other than DNS and HTTP?
Yes, ma'am. There is an SSH service, then SMTP, which is used for mailing and mail like simple mail transfer protocol, which is used to send emails. Then yes, ma'am. I remember this.
What is SSH?
Sorry, ma'am.
Full form of SSH.
Ma'am, actually, I don't remember.
What is the other architecture than the client server architecture?
Like in which respect for searching?
For resource sharing.
Ma'am, TCP and UDP. Those are.
I'm asking about the architecture, not a protocol.
I don't know, ma'am.
You can leave.
Ma'am, can I join?
Sorry?
Can I join?
Yes, yes. Yes, your screen is visible, Sneh.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, my topic is FTP, and it is a content, FTP, objective of FTP, why FTP, and mechanism of FTP. Okay, first, what is FTP? FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. It is basically used for transferring the files. FTP is a standard internet protocol provided by TCP or IP. Uses a transmitting of the file from one host to another. So what is the objective of FTP? As I told earlier, it provides a sharing of file. It transfers the data more reliably and efficient. It encourage the use of remote computers. Now, why FTP? Although transferring files from one system to another is very simple and straightforward, but sometimes it can cause problems. Say, for example, two systems may have different file conventions, or two systems may have different ways of representing text or data. So in that case, FTP is used. Now, what is the mechanism of FTP? There is a client and server. In client, user interface, a control process, and data transfer process. And in server, control process and data transfer process. Basically, it communicates client and server via control connections and data connection. Control connection manages the command, and data connection is used for transferring the data. So for what is TCP? TCP stands for Transfer Control Protocol, and communicates. It is basically used for communication. In simple language, it enables the application program and the communicating device to exchange a message over network. So what is control connection? The control connection uses very simple rules for communicating.
Okay.
Yes.
So FTP works at which layer?
FTP application layer.
And which are the port number it utilizes?
FTP is port 21 and TCP 53.
TCP 53.
Sorry, ma'am. TCP. No, DNS 53.
So does FTP will utilize only port number 21?
No. There is one more. I don't know, ma'am. I know only 21.
So through 21, what does the FTP is going to do?
Okay.
It is going to transfer the data, or it is going to control the data? What?
But see, as I had told in FTP mechanism, control processes use what is the use of control process? As I written, is the ability to monitor and adjust the process to give the desired output. So basically, control connection and data connection. Data connection is used for the data purpose, data transfer purpose, and where that data goes, it is used by control process. Means what it decides the output, where should the data go?
તો પોર્ટ નંબર 21 બંને વસ્તુ કરશે એમ.
ક્લાયન્ટ નો મેમ એ સર્વર નો પોર્ટ નંબર હોય.
Basically, as you can see over here, Snake, as it utilizes two different processes, one for the controlling and one for the transferring the data, it utilizes two different ports. One is the 20 number port and another one is a 21 number port. So with the help of 20 number port, you can control the processes, you can control the connections, and with the help of 21 number port, you can transfer the data. So thus you can say that FTP utilizes two different port numbers, 20 and 21.
પણ મેમ સર્ચ કર્યું ને જ્યારે FTP નો મેઇન પોર્ટ નંબર શું છે તો એમાં only 21 દે.
21 જ આવશે કારણ કે એમાં ડેટા ટ્રાન્સફર થાય છે. પણ આ ઇન્ટરનલ પાર્ટ છે. ઇન્ટરનલી કઈ રીતે વર્ક કરે તો એ ટાઈમમાં બે પોર્ટ નંબર આવે, 20 અને 21.
ઓકે મેમ.
You can leave. Next, Nihar. Yes, screen is visible, but you are not audible.
Ma'am.
Yes.
So ma'am, my name is Nihar Jatakia, 19 DCS 159. My topic is switch and router, and the course I selected is Network Essential from Cisco Network Academy. My content is switch introduction, switch component, switch advantage and disadvantages, SMS router. As firstly we see switch introduction. Switch is a network device that connects multiple computers together in a network. As you can see in a figure, there is a switch and these are the computers which are connected in a switch. It is mainly used to send the private message as well as there is no wasting of data. In switch we use a MAC address. With the use of MAC address, if we want to send data from this computer to this computer, so there is a with the use of MAC address there will be no wasting of data. Means we can send data from one computer to another computer, and switch can easily identify that which device is connected with which port by using MAC address, and that way it is delivered messages on a particular destination machine. At here, when we send data and another computer receive data, switch creates one table in which it stores sender MAC address and receiver's MAC address. These are the advantages and disadvantages of switch. It supports unicast. Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me the types of switches?
Types of switches. Sorry, ma'am, I have not searched that in my course.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. So switch works at which layer?
Switch works at data link layer, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now a router works at which layer?
Router work layer 3, ma'am. Layer 3 network layer, ma'am.
Okay. So now tell me that whenever one PC is sending the packet, or you can say the frame, for the very first time to the destination PC, so how this switch is going to transfer or forward that particular frame to the destination machine?
So ma'am, in this when a data frame arrive, first at any port at network switch, it will see what is the destination address and perform necessary checks. After that, it will send the frame to the corresponding device.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am. In my information, yeah, this.
એવું નથી હોતું. જ્યારે પહેલી વખત સ્વિચ જોડે ડેટા આવશે તો એ બ્રોડકાસ્ટ જ કરશે, એની જોડે કોઈ ડેટાબેઝ નહીં. એની જોડે એનું ટેબલ ક્યારે બને છે, જ્યારે તમે એક વખત ડેટા મોકલી દીધો એના પછી એને ખબર છે ઓકે આ સિસ્ટમનું મેક એડ્રેસ આ છે, પછી એના ટેબલમાં લખી દેશે.
અચ્છા મેમ.
હા, પહેલી વખત મોકલશો તો એને કઈ નહીં ખબર, પહેલી વખતમાં એ બ્લેન્ક હશે.
ઓકે મેમ.
ધીરે ધીરે જેમ જેમ બધા પીસી ની ઉપર એ ફોરવર્ડ કરતો જશે તેમ તેમ એ લિસ્ટ બનાવતો જશે કે મારી જોડે આ કનેક્ટેડ છે, મારી જોડે આ કનેક્ટેડ છે, આ પોર્ટ પર કનેક્ટ. અને એના પછી જ્યારે નેક્સ્ટ ટાઈમ તમે એ જ સિસ્ટમને મોકલશો તો એ ટાઈમે પછી એ પર્ટિક્યુલર પોઈન્ટ ટુ પોઈન્ટ કનેક્શન યુઝ કરશે.
ઓકે મેમ.
ઓકે, યુ કેન લીવ.
થેન્ક યુ મેમ.
યસ, નેક્સ્ટ.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen is visible?
Yes.
So good morning, ma'am. My name is Ayush Upadhyay. And my
Ayush,
topic. Yes,
tell
ma'am.
me the difference between internet protocol and IP address.
Internet protocol and IP address. Ma'am, internet protocol, there are two types, IPv4 address and IPv6 address. So first difference is IPv4 address is 32-bit, IPv6 address is 128-bit, and IPv4 address is a little bit of older version of internet protocol, and IPv6 is a.
Do not ask you the difference between IPv4 and IPv6. I have asked you the difference between internet protocol, that is IP protocol, versus IP address.
So ma'am, in IP addresses, we have one source and destination address. If the source and destination addresses are correct, then our message will transfer at the destination. And in internet protocol is only used for the transferring the messages from one end to another.
Okay, what is the size of IP protocol and IP address?
64-bit, ma'am.
64-bit कौन?
IP address.
तो 32-bit શું હોય છે?
No ma'am, 32-bit IPv4 address નું હોય છે અને IPv6 નું 128-bit હોય છે, એ IP addresses માં.
હા, તો IP protocol નું size શું છે?
Sorry ma'am, that I don't know.
Size different આવશે કે IPv4 અને 6 ની જેવી જ size આવશે?
Different આવશે ma'am.
Okay. IP protocol works at which layer?
Ma'am, at network layer.
At network layer. Okay. શું છે slides માં બતાવો તો જરાક.
Yes ma'am. Ma'am, basic what is internet protocol, then difference between IPv4 and IPv6. So ma'am, here in diagram we can see this, if we have correct source and destination IP addresses, our packet or message sent to a actual destination, then binary conversion of IPv4 addresses.
Okay.
So
No
so
need
ma'am,
to explain. You can leave. Done.
okay ma'am, thank you.
Well. Next.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. So after Rahul's presentation, there was the presentation of Ayushi.
Ma'am, is my screen
Yes,
visible?
yes, it is visible.
Okay. So good morning to one and all present here. My name is Rahul and my topic is on TCP/IP model. So you have questions in your mind that what is TCP/IP model? It's a model to standardize the computer networking. The OSI model isn't used in the real world. The TCP/IP model, however, is the real deal. Okay. So TCP/IP specifies how the data is exchanged over the internet by providing end-to-end communication, that is identify how it should be broken into packets, addressed, transmitted and routed and received at the destination. TCP/IP requires a detailed central management that is designed to make a network reliable with the ability to recover automatically from the failure of any device on the network. Okay, so the TCP/IP model is a concise version of the OSI model. It contains 4 layers, unlike the 7 layer in OSI model. The layers are the process and application layer, transport layer, internet layer, and data link layer. Yes, ma'am.
Please tell me the reason why we are not utilizing in a real world OSI model and why we are utilizing the TCP/IP model. Why we are following the TCP/IP and why not OSI?
The OSI model is a logical and conceptual model that defines network communication used by the system open to interconnect and communication with other systems. On the other hand, the TCP/IP helps to determine how to specific computers should be connected to the internet and how you can transmit data between them.
Okay.
Here is the flow. I will explain how the data is passed between each layer. So as we send data to each layer, it will add its own bit of information. This process is called encapsulation. When we hit the physical layer, the data is transmitted over the receiving device. The receiving device then starts to decapsulate them, and we'll start with our application data layer. Then it is passed to next layer where the transport information is added. Let's say that it is TCP header. Each time the header will be added contains specific information. For example, a TCP header will contain things like source, destination, port number, sequence number, and a few more bits information. We can move to the network layer where we add the IP header. This will contain the source and destination IP addresses as well as some other bits of information. Lastly, we data link layer. Here we add not only header but trailer as well. The header will contain the main link, the destination of source, that is MAC address, and the trailer contains some error checking information that receiving side can check and make sure that the data has been received correctly or not. Once the data hits the physical layer transmits. So we go through the encapsulation process. It is important that each stage the data is specific name at the layer 5 is called just we call data at this stage. Once the transport information has been added, so it's now it's called segment. Adding the network information make our segment a packet. Finally, once we add our data link information, the packet become frames. Now, once the data has been transmitted to the receiving computer, it decapsulates the information. It will check the destination MAC address for the frames, and if the frame destination of our computer is processed further, the computer then checks the IP information of the packet again. If the packet is destinated for our computer, it will be further processed. The transport information is read and the application data is sent to the receiving application. So this is how TCP IP works.
Okay, done. Next, कौन है तो आयुषी?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Ayushi Thakur, and I have done my online course from Udemy, and my topic is transmission media. So, transmission media is the way to which data, information, or the message can flow between the workstations. It is also a way to connect multiple workstations together. Transmission media broadly classified into two categories: guided media and unguided media. So the classification of transmission media is this. In unguided media, there is twisted type cable, coaxial cable, optical fiber cable, and in unguided media, radio waves, microwaves, and infrared. So unguided media uses a cabling system that guides the data system along a specific path.
Okay. Ayushi, give me the difference between guided media and unguided media.
In guided media, the signal energy propagates through wires, and in unguided media, it propagates through air. And in unguided media, it is used for point-to-point communication. And in unguided media, in generally suited for radio broadcasting in all directions.
Okay. In an unguided media, how the radio wave works?
In unguided media,
Sorry?
radio waves.
Huh.
Radio waves are electromagnetic waves occurring on the radio frequency portion of the electromagnetic spectrum.
So each and every person or each and every system will have its own different frequency spectrum?
No, ma'am. For example, a common use is to transport information through the atmosphere or outer space without wires. That is a radio wave.
What is the use of satellite? In communication, what is the use of satellite? And leave. Next. Brajesh.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Ma'am, my topic is IPv4 to IPv6, and first of all, what is Internet Protocol? Internet Protocol is the protocol that help and facilitate computer to communicate with each other over the network, and there are two types of IP Internet Protocol, IPv4 and IPv6. It is IPv4. What is IPv4? IPv4 is also known as the Internet. Yes, ma'am.
So tell me, એવું તો થવાનું નથી કે IPv4 આખું દુનિયામાંથી નાશ થઈ જાય, right?
હા, એ તો નહીં થવાનું.
So we are going to utilize IPv4 as well as IPv6.
Yes, yes.
So how we can combine both these addresses in a same machine?
Ma'am, બંનેવને વાઇસ વર્સા ચાલુ જ પડશે. અને કમ્બાઇનિંગ ની અંદર સર્વિસ પ્રોવાઇડર્સ હશે, લાઈક GoDaddy વાળા છે, તો GoDaddy એ લોકો IPv4 ને IPv6 બંને મતલબ એમ લોકો જે ડોમેન્સ આપે છે એની અંદર બંનેમાં અવેલેબલ કરીને જ આપશે.
મેસેજ પાસ કઈ રીતે થશે? IPv4 ના બેઝિસ પર થશે કે 6 ના બેઝિસ પર થશે?
બંનેના બેઝિસ પર.
બંનેના બેઝિસ પર કઈ રીતે?
એનો આઈડિયા નથી.
How the network will come to know કે ભાઈ હવે મારે આને અહીંયા આગળથી આગળ આ ફોરવર્ડ કરવાનું છે ને અહીંયા આગળથી આગળ આ ફોરવર્ડ કરવાનું છે?
મતલબ સિસ્ટમમાં બંને એ લોકોએ અવેલેબલ કરી આપ્યું હશે તો.
Have you heard about the tunneling?
હા હા.
Tunneling concept?
હા હા હા. આઈડિયા છે, થોડો આઈડિયા છે, ડિપ્લોમા આવ્યો.
What is that?
મેમ ટનલિંગ ની અંદર આ બધું પેલું મર્જ કરીને કંઈક કરે છે એ લોકો.
શું મર્જ કરે છે?
મતલબ બંને પ્રોટોકોલ્સ ને.
હા, એ તો ખબર છે, એટલે તો હું ટનલિંગ વર્ડ બોલી, પણ કઈ રીતે મર્જ કરે છે?
મતલબ પ્રોપર આઈડિયા નથી, પણ થોડું યાદ છે, ડિપ્લોમા આવ્યો તો એકવાર.
ઓકે, ડન.
ઓકે, થેન્ક યુ મેમ.
ડિપ્લોમા વાળાને તો બધો આન્સર આવડવા જોઈએ યાર. વિરાજ, તમે લોકો ભણીને આવ્યા છો?
ભણીને આવ્યા છો ને?
યસ મેમ.
ચલો જલ્દી.
યસ મેમ. યસ.
તો પતાવો પણ શું કરું?
मैम 2 मिनट थोड़ा लोडिंग हो रहा है.
अरे
एक मिनट. हाँ આવું કામ છે ને.
એક મિનિટ હું તમને ફરીથી અટેન્ડી બનાવું છું and after that you can try again. Yes, now try to present your screen.
Yes ma'am.
नहीं थતું?
नो मैम पता नहीं कुछ प्रॉब्लम आई।
વાંધો નહીં, તમે લીવ થઈને ફરી જોઈન કરો, ત્યાં સુધી આપણે પાર્થનું લઈ લઈએ.
हाँ
ओके मैडम. My screen visible, ma'am?
Yes.
Good morning, madam. Today's my presentation topic is RFC. And today's presentation outline is what is the RFC, why we need the RFC, and what is the use of the RFC. First of all, what is the RFC? RFC is a pure technical document published by Internet Engineering Task Force and the Internet Society. That published document describe the method, behavior of the Internet system. Next topic is why we need the RFC. At the early stage of network communication, each developer made their own priority network community protocol. So that time different network protocol made for the same purpose, and the same protocol and some protocol and operating system have significant difference. That the problem occur in the internet environment. So Internet Society and Internet Engineering Task Force released the RFC for provide the proper path to develop the internet. And what is the use of the RFC is the next slide. RFC is used for developing the standard network protocol and function of the network protocol. RFC is a basic building block of the today's model computer network and internet. Almost all the network protocol of internet build the base of the RFC. These are the some important protocols.
Okay.
This is the look like the RFC.
Now tell me then how the client will request for RFC.
મેડમ આ એક્ચ્યુઅલી એક ડોક્યુમેન્ટ તરીકે છે, આપણે તેને ઇન્ટરનેટ પર ફ્રીલી એક્સેસ કરી શકીએ.
તો એના માટે શું એને લખવું પડશે?
RFC અને પછી તેનો પોર્ટ જે ડોક્યુમેન્ટનો નંબર પ્રોવાઇડ કરેલો છે તે.
Okay. Then how this document is you can say the
publish.
हाँ.
એકચ્યુઅલી આપણે પહેલા ગમે તે પ્રોટોકોલ ડેવલપ કર્યો હોય ને તેને આપણે આખું ડોક્યુમેન્ટેશન તૈયાર કરવું પડે અને પછી તેને આપણે ઇન્ટરનેટ સોસાયટી કે ઇન્ટરનેટ ટાસ્ક ફોર્સ જે સોસાયટી છે તેને સબમિટ કરવાનું. તેને તે આખી પૂરી રીતે પ્રોટોકોલને ચેક કરશે, ગમે તે પ્રોબ્લેમ ને બધું ફાઇન્ડ કરીને તમને ફીડબેક ને એવું આપે. એ બધું ડન હશે તો તમને ડાયરેક્ટ કન્ફર્મેશન આવે કે તમારો પ્રોટોકોલ રેડી છે અને તમને RFC માં એડ કરી દેશે.
What is the portal for submitting the document?
ત્યાંનું પાકું એડ્રેસ નથી કે વેબસાઇટ ઉપર ઇન્ટરનેટ સોસાયટીની વેબસાઇટ ઉપર જઈને આવે છે એટલું ખબર છે. ના છે બધું સાઇન ઇન લોગિન ને બધું.
Is ARPANET committee is involved in this?
I think no madam. મને ખબર છે ત્યાં સુધી બેચ છે ખાલી. પહેલા તો ઇન્ટરનેટ એન્જિન ટાસ્ક ફોર્સ તે સૌથી પહેલા ઓપન થઈ હતી ને પછી થોડા સમય પછી આ ઇન્ટરનેટ સોસાયટી.
Okay, done.
Thank you, madam.
Hello, ma'am. I can share screen. 175. Hello, ma'am. I can share screen? 175.
તમે presenter જ છો, you can share your screen.
Ma'am, my screen is visible.
Not yet.
मैम मोबाइल से हो रहा है ना इसलिए प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, लैपटॉप में है ही नहीं.
તો વાંધો નહીં, એક કામ કરો, લેબ પતી જશે ને એના પછી હું તમને ગૂગલ મીટની લિંક શેર કરી દઈશ, તમે એમાં મને પ્રેઝન્ટ કરી દેજો.
Okay, ma'am.
યસ, નેક્સ્ટ.
Yes, ma'am. Can I share the screen now? Is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, your screen is visible. Now tell me, Agam, that why you haven't full up the topic in the Excel sheet?
I am not able to fill up the topic.
Why?
I don't know, ma'am. At the time when we have been discussing, I was absent on that day, and then next week the holiday came, and in next week I was not able to join properly because of the rain. So there was network issues, so I was not able to join.
Don't you think you should mail me the topic, or you should ask me then which topic you can take?
I asked one of my friends, so he told that you can take any topic which has been not selected in our batch.
એટલે મેડમ ની પરમિશન લેવાની જરૂરી નહીં એમ?
No, it's not like that, man.
જો ના આપ્યા હોય હું એ લોકોનું તો પ્રેઝન્ટેશન કન્સિડર જ નથી કરવાની, તો હવે હું શું કરું બોલો?
Ma'am, I was not knowing that particular thing. Sorry, ma'am, for that.
So which are the services provided by the transport layer?
Transport layer generally provide. Can I start? Actually, I have written all the things.
No, just give me the answers of my questions.
It's provide many services like multiplexing, flow control. Then it also provides that service that is reliable, but not totally reliable. It has many protocols. Generally, there are two type of protocols used in transport layer, that are UDP and TCP. So basically, TCP is more reliable compared to UDP. TCP stands for transmission control.
Asking about the services provided by the transport layer. I do not want to know the difference between TCP or UDP.
Okay, so services are byte-oriented processing, then in-order delivery, then
what is multiplexing?
Multiplexing, it takes data from the node and they make data into single link. They send it through a single link. They take multiple data from nodes and they send it to a single link.
Which are the types of multiplexing?
Simple multiplexing, then 1 minute, man. Okay. I'm not getting that. Frequency division multiplexing and this time division. Sorry, I cannot hear you.
What is congestion?
What? Sorry, no. Actually, I am having some network issue. Can you repeat? Hello, ma'am.
What is congestion?
What is congestion? Congestion. This is a method like what to say? It's control the traffic, something related like this. It controls the traffic, something like this. Actually, I'm not having perfect thing, but
it
helps
controls
to
the traffic. Then what is flow control?
It manages the rate of data transmission in flow control.
So traffic and data transmission માં difference શું છે?
Congestion control is a mechanism.
And a flow control શું છે? can thank.
What, ma'am?
Next.
Sorry, ma'am, for not following.
Hello everyone and good morning, ma'am. For today's presentation, my topic is static routing. I have pursued the online course from NPTEL Demystifying Networks. So first of all, what is static routing? To know what is static routing, first we need to clear the point of what is routing. What do you mean by routing? Then and then only we can clear about what is static routing and the types of routing. So there is a brief introduction of routing. It is a process in first of all, routing works at network layer. The main work of routing is to deliver the packets from the lower layer, or you can say from the data link or physical layer to the particular network or to particular destination address. It forwards IP packets in which there are the data of the user from the source to destination, which have to be transferred from the source to destination using routing. Routing has the ability to forward the IP packets from one network to another. It can also transfer the packets from one network to another using using routers. The router's job is to connect the networks in the business and manage traffic within these networks. The router is mainly agent which connects the one network, different networks at one central point. So mainly router does that job, and it passes the particular message from the source network to destination network.
Okay, fine. So tell me that which protocols utilizes static routing
Which protocol uses the static routing?
or provides the static routing? Protocols which provide static routing.
I don't know the particular point.
Do we require any protocol for static
No,
routing?
ma'am.
Then
Ma'am, in static routing, there is no need to have any extra protocols or external protocols. In dynamic routing, it mainly needs the external protocols like RIP and OSPF.
So tell me the advantages of static routing.
Ma'am, advantages of static routing is that firstly, it is very helpful in small network. Secondly, there is no routing overhead. No routing overhead in the sense dynamic routing. In dynamic routing, it needs to check or it need to reroute the particular path if some damage is there. So in static routing, there is no need to reroute the particular path. So the complexity of that particular routing process is less compared to dynamic routing. So any type of router can be used to any router can be used to do the routing in static routing. Security basis.
So in which type of architecture the static routing is suitable? In which type of architecture static routing is suitable?
I don't know that particular.
Okay, done. Next.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, it is visible. Again, static routing?
Yes, ma'am. Different codes.
Acha.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Parth Patel and my topic is static routing. My course name is Cisco Academic Network Essential.
ઓકે તો પાર્થ તમે મને આન્સર આપી દો કે કેવા ટાઈપના આર્કિટેક્ચરમાં સ્ટેટિક રાઉટિંગ યુઝ થશે.
એક મિનિટ. કેવા ટાઈપના આર્કિટેક્ચરમાં સ્ટેટિક રાઉટિંગ યુઝ થશે?
In which type of architecture the static routing is most suitable?
મેમ આઈ થિંક રાઉટર જોડે જ્યારે એક્ઝિટ પોઈન્ટ ના હોય તારે.
What do you mean by exit point?
એક્ઝિટ પોઈન્ટ મેં જવાનો રસ્તો મેમ જ્યાંથી ના હોય, મતલબ એક રાઉટ હોય એક
બાપરે બાપ. હા, ક્યાં જવાનો રસ્તો નથી?
મેમ મતલબ એક ડેસ્ટિનેશન ના હોય એની પાસે જવા માટે, એટલે એક પર્ટિક્યુલર જગ્યા.
જો મારે આગળ કશે મોકલવું જ ના હોય તો હું રાઉટર જોડે એને અટેચ કરું જ કેમ?
મેમ એની પાસે કોઈ રસ્તા જ ના હોય તો આગળ
હું એ જ કહું છું, જો મારે રસ્તા આપવા જ નથી તો હું ડિવાઇસને બીજા ડિવાઇસ સાથે કનેક્ટ કરું જ કેમ? તમે કનેક્ટ કરો છો that means you are providing the routes.
Yes.
So
no idea.
અહીંયા આગળ મને કંઈક ટાઇપ્સ ઓફ સ્ટેટિક રાઉટિંગ જેવું કંઈક વંચાય છે, એવા સ્લાઇડ પર જાઓ ને જરા.
હા,
નીચે એની નીચે standard static route, default summary static route. What is summary static route?
Ma'am, it is multiple static route that can be summarized into if a destination networks are conjugate and it can be summarized in single network address. मतलब मैम एक જ network address में બધા બીજા other route से મોકલવા. હેલો.
હા 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 હા, આ કયા કોર્સમાં છે?
આ મેમ આ કોઈ કોર્સ નથી, મેં તમને કીધેલું જ્યારે પીપીટી એટલે કોર્સ રજીસ્ટ્રેશન થતું હતું કે બધા એ ફીલ થઈ ગયા.
ઓકે ઓકે, તો તમે આને કદાચ મે બી મિસઅન્ડરસ્ટુડ કર્યું છે. એ ટાઈપ નથી સ્ટેટિક રાઉટિંગ ના, બટ ધીસ ઇઝ ધ ડિફરન્ટ વેઝ હાઉ ધ રાઉટર કેન સ્ટોર ધ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન.
ઓકે
બરાબર, એટલે હા ઓકે ફાઇન, યુ કેન લીવ. ડન.
થેન્ક યુ મેમ.
Small network architecture. But
પેલાનો આન્સર મળશે. હેલો મેમ,
હા
પેલાનો આન્સર મળશે આર્કિટેક્ચર.
Small network architecture. સિમ્પલ છે યાર. You can also say small bus topology, small mesh topology, small ring topology. You can use any of the topology in that.
Okay ma'am, thank you.
Welcome. Yes, who is next? Yes, he is visible.
Morning ma'am, my name is Parth Shah and my course is Cisco Academy Networking Essential and my topics are email protocols.
Okay, kaya છે?
એક તો SMTP, POP3 and IMP.
What is IMAP?
Internet Message Access Protocol.
Why we require IMAP?
એ બેઝિકલી સેમ જ કામ કરે છે POP3 ને IMP, કે રિસીવર ના મેલ સર્વર પરથી ત્યાં આવે રિસીવર ના ડિવાઇસ પર. IMP થોડો એડવાન્સ છે કારણ કે IMP માં બધા મેસેજ સર્વર પર સ્ટોર થાય.
તો POP માં ક્યાં થાય?
POP માં સિંગલ ડિવાઇસ પર થાય, જે યુઝર યુઝ કરતા, ધારો કે હું યુઝ કરતો તો મારા ફોન ઉપર જ થાય.
Okay, is there any another protocol which is used in a email architecture?
SMTP થાય. SMTP એ યુઝર ના ડિવાઇસ થી રિસીવર ના મેલ સર્વર સુધી મોકલે.
આ ત્રણ સિવાય
પ્રોટોકોલ નથી, પણ એનો ખ્યાલ પણ એક્સટેન્શન છે MIME કરીને, જે SMTP માટે ડિઝાઇન કર્યું છે. એનાથી એટેચમેન્ટ થાય કે ફોટો વિડીયો પછી કોઈ અલગ લેંગ્વેજમાં ગુજરાતી મોકલવું હોય તો ગુજરાતીમાં જાય એવું.
Okay, done. You can leave.
Thank you.
Next.
I'm next. Hello ma'am. And my topic is addressing the networking course title Demystifying Networking. My ID D20DCS 184. And topic is what is addressing, hierarchical addressing, Anupam's advanced to network addressing and summary and address translation. So what is an what is it?
Next.
Ma'am,
हाँ
अनुपम मैम उसमें स्टोरी है कि जिसमें वो ये बताता है कि अनुपम had some wonderful, especially when he had connected the number given in the chat was actually IP address, and then follow step by step instruction to reach his destination, and it explains that each part of IP address takes number from 0 to 255 and create a unique identifiable address. Basically, a story about a person named Anupam is explaining the hierarchical addressing through the story. And hierarchical addressing means that address are assigned in hierarchical manner rather than randomly. Telephone network provides a good analogy. This network is divided into countries, which in turn are divided into areas and local exchanges. Phone numbers are assigned based on the location. And addressing. When it comes to addressing, there are primarily three types of categories. There are three levels of addressing which are important: MAC address, IP address, and logical address. Yes, ma'am.
What is logical address?
Logical address is domain name provided by domain name registrar, and which can be purchasable also.
Okay.
And address translation means domain name service, ma'am. In means it translates the logical address, comes with the IP address to the domain. It is a distributed entity because we cannot have a single domain for name for entire world. So it is a distributed entity.
What is the difference between logical address and IP address?
Logical address and IP address, ma'am. IP address is assigned by system administrator within the organization, and ISP, internet service provider, assigns public IP address, and logical address is domain name provided by domain registrar.
What is the size of logical address?
Size of logical address. And that I don't know.
What is the size of logical address? What is ARP?
Address resolution protocol. It translates the IP address to MAC address.
What is RSIP?
I'm not done that because this was.
તો તમે જે કોર્સ કર્યો છે એમાં તમને ઉલ્લુ બનાવે છે. લોજિકલ એડ્રેસ અને એડ્રેસ એક જ વસ્તુ છે ભાઈ. DNS તમને શું આપશે? નામ ઉપરથી IP એડ્રેસ આપશે. That will be the public address which is known to everyone. So there is no difference between logical address and the IP address. બરાબર છે?
કોર્સ માં ऐसा था इसलिए.
હા એટલે જ હું કહું છું કે કોર્સ વાળો તમને ઉલ્લુ બનાવે છે.
ये सब था इसलिए.
Okay, you can leave.
Hello ma'am, I solved the problem. Can I present? Please. अभी मैं शेयर नहीं कर सकता, मुझे वो बनाइए.
अच्छा. तो प्लीज. हाँ बोलो.
Okay. Ma'am, my screen is visible now?
Yes. વાહ વાહ શું વાત છે. હવે તો પ્રેઝન્ટેશન ની બી જરૂર નહીં. ફૂલ માર્ક્સ.
Hello ma'am, my name is Viraj. I joined Cisco course. My topic is wireless connection. Wireless connection is technology that we can connect to device without wire or cable. We can connect using radio waves, electric waves. Wireless network today, first radio was created in 1920. Yes, ma'am? Yeah.
Tell me that the wireless network follows which architecture?
Wireless network.
हाँ, कયું architecture follow करे છે?
वो नहीं पता मैम.
Okay. So unguided media use થશે wireless network બનાવવા માટે?
Yes ma'am.
કયા કયા છે આપણી જોડે unguided media?
અનગાઇડેડ મીડિયામાં આપણે इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैग्नेटिक वेव्स यूज होती है इसमें
પછી
कोई पण वायरलेस ट्रांसमिशन भी कहते हैं अनगाइडेड मीडिया को अनगाइडेड मीडिया मतलब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैग एनर्जी होती है वो जाती है और उससे दौरान डेटा एक से दूसरे तरफ ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं। रेडियो वेव्स होती है, माइक्रोवेव्स होती है, इंफ्रारेड वेव्स होती है। यस
you can no need to explain anything. Wireless landman when બધું સરખું જ છે. Okay, I guess I have now completed the presentations of.
Ma'am, I'm left. Still.
હા બહુ બધા left છે. Wait. પહેલા તો यार आ શું છે यार એક સેકન્ડ ભાઈ સાંભળો મારે એક હવે મીટિંગ આવી ગઈ છે મારે અત્યારે ભાગવું પડશે તો આપણે નેક્સ્ટ લેબમાં મળીએ હું ખાલી અટેન્ડન્સ અત્યારે લઈ લઉં છું બરાબર જે લોકોનું બાકી છે એ લોકોના પ્રેઝન્ટેશન નેક્સ્ટ લેબમાં આપણે પતાવી દઈશું જે લોકો એબ્સન્ટ હતા એમના કદાચ બાકી છે તો એ લોકોનું પતાવી દઈશ અને આજે મેં તમારા લોકો જોડે પ્રેક્ટિકલ ફાઇલ 5 and 6 માટે અપલોડ કરવાનું મોકલ્યો છે મેલ નહીં ટીમ્સ ઉપર અસાઇનમેન્ટ તો એ જરાક જોઈ લેજો બરાબર છે યાર મને બહુ કંટાળો આવે છે મને નહીં જોયું हाँ 134 તમને લોકોને જેમ એક્સપર્ટ ટોકમાં ફીલિંગ આવે ને એવું મને મીટિંગમાં ફીલ 149
Yes, ma'am.
D2D તો બધા પ્રેઝન્ટ જ છે ને આજે
યસ મેમ
ખાલી
Yes, ma'am.
180
Yes,
નંબર
ma'am.
નથી કદાચ
182 પણ
હા મેડમ આવું જ છું નીચે
હવે છે ને કૃષ્ણા મેડમે એવું કીધું કે જે આપણી બુકલેટ છે ને
હા
એનો આપણને મેલ આવેલો છે એટલે એમણે એવું કીધું કે એમાં જે બી પ્રોબ્લેમ છે ને એ કરેક્ટ નથી થયા તો પર્સનલી સાગર ચોકસીને મળી અને એની સામે બેસીને એ કરેક્શન કરાવવાનું છે તમારે અને મારે અને એ બી અર્જન્ટમાં અત્યારે
એ હા
હા તો ક્યારે જઈએ વાત
સેમ કયા બ્રાન્ચ માટે મેડમ અલા ભાઈ તમે લોકો જાઓ યાર કાલે વાત કરી
ઓકે મેમ